Welcome, and thank you all for joining us for Alumni Weekend 2022. I'm Chris Moore, Dean of Sargent College. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you, and whether you're joining us in person or participating in Alumni Weekend from another part of the world, your participation in this terrific weekend is important to all of us here at Sargent. As I begin my 9th year as your dean, it's bittersweet for me to share with you the news that this will be my last year at BU. As you may have read in BU Today, I'm retiring at the end of the 2022-2023 academic year, which will allow me to get back home to my family in Washington State. These years at Sargent have been the most rewarding of my professional life, challenging for sure, but also incredibly fulfilling. It's been an honor to meet all of you, to recruit and support our world-class faculty, to help lead us through our pandemic response of 2020 and 2021, to build new top-notch programs, to do our part in mitigation of pernicious health inequities, and to drive the discovery of new knowledge in health and rehabilitation sciences. Thank you for being part of this remarkable community and for your support over the past 8 years. Now it's my distinct honor to begin the 2022 Alumni Awards ceremony. The number of nominations received and the caliber of our Sargent graduates was incredibly, but not unexpectedly, if that's possible, impressive. The impossible task of our Sargent College Alumni Association nominating committee and chair was to select for recognition the most remarkable among the highly accomplished and impactful group of nominees that we received. It is my pleasure to introduce our SCAA nominating committee chair, Carrie Blosfield, Sargent class of 1999 and 2001, to announce this year's awardees. Please join me in thanking her for her effort on this difficult assignment. Carrie?
Thank you, Dean Moore. And also thank you for your many years of service to the college. It's been wonderful working with you for these years, and I appreciate all of your energy and support for the board in all that we've done. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today to recognize 6 remarkable alumni for this, the 2022 Sargent College Alumni Association Awards Ceremony. My name is Carrie Blosfeld, Sargent class of 99-01, and chair of the awards committee. I would like to thank my committee for their work this year, starting with Christy Morosino, class of 93 and 94, Judy Mara, class of 57, Savannah Bitsis, class of 21, Lindsay Allen, Associate Dean of Development and Alumni Relations, and Astrid Potts, Development Associate. It has been a pleasure working with you all. The Special Recognition Award is awarded to recognize individuals who make outstanding contributions to humanity beyond their professional responsibilities. The 2022 Special Recognition Award goes to Mary Gilbert Berg, class of 1970. While working at a nursing home, Mary became involved with Partners of Rural Health in the Dominican Republic, an organization dedicated to providing access to continuous care and health education in the Dominican Republic. At the same time, Mary became involved with IPSAC, a surgical and teaching mission in Vietnam. Mary currently heads the Orthopedic Durable Medical Equipment section of Partners for World Health in Portland, Maine, an organization that collects medical supplies and distributes them to individuals and communities in need both at home and abroad. Additionally, Mary is on the design and marketing committee for the Blue Wrap Runway Benefit Organization, a fashion show where all outfits are made from sterile surgical wrap, raising money for Partners for World Health. The awards committee is honored to recognize Mary Gilbert Berg with the Special Recognition Award.
I am honored and humbled to be receiving this lovely award from Sargent College and Boston University, nothing I ever dreamed of. Always having a sense of adventure and curiosity, BU opened my mind to what is possible. It opened my eyes to ideas, places, and cultures from around the world. High standards, integrity, and professionalism are all part of the Sargent spirit. They have followed me through my career as a PT, a wife, mother, and adventurer. My 4 years as Sargent gave me a strong foundation in launching my career, my life, and my adventures. Teachers and professionals demonstrated professionalism, compassion, and the importance of honor. Friends I met while at BU have sustained me. I thank Joanne Harper Finn, class of 71, Marcia Gardner Baviak, Carol Hogarty Creeding, Catherine Kennedy Doherty, all class of 70, and Sally Brooks Dalton, class of 67, was also instrumental in my nomination. She's a dear friend. It was during my work in subacute rehabilitation, Our Children Grown, that I found myself eager to bring my skills to parts of the world where I could investigate cultures, provide education and treatment. During working with Partners of Rural Health in the Dominican Republic, a joint venture with the University of Southern Maine Nursing School, I participated in these trips for over 12 years and a board member and volunteer coordinator. I provided mentoring and education to a wide variety of healthcare students while delivering care and compassion in the Sargent spirit. When I traveled to South Vietnam in 2016 and 17, I joined a pediatric surgical group out of Chicago. Graduated from BU in 1970, having our graduation exercises canceled because of protests about the war, the trip was particularly poignant. At a CP center, I introduced sippy cups and educated staff on swallowing techniques due to aspiration issues. I provided education to the technicians and management of range of motion in the presence of spasticity and contracture. I visited a rehab unit in a small community hospital in Kontum along what was the Ho Chi Minh Trail. I educated the staff in the rehabilitation of spinal cord patients, used the tilt table transfers and skincare. Talking with the staff, we discussed education of family involvement and ways to express empathy. At another pediatric facility we visited, a large number of children were deaf and had other debilitating neurological conditions, most probably brought on by Agent Orange 3 generations ago. In the spirit of giving back, I had become involved in Partners of Rural Health in Portland, Maine. It was founded by Elizabeth McClellan, a BU grad in 1989, who has a master's in public health. Partners of Rural Health collects medical supplies and equipment from all over New England. Our orthopedic team loads equipment together with all kinds of other medical supplies onto shipping containers and send to places such as Syria, Uganda, Mongolia, Liberia. We have had 5 shipments to Ukraine. With Partners of Rural Health, I have had the honor to visit Bangladesh in 2019. I visited the Public Hospital Cancer Institute, where I gave a PowerPoint presentation. In the Sargent spirit, I stressed excellence in care and the importance of mobility, exercise, and mastectomy care. I treated and did rounds, visiting patients who had been waiting over 3 months for surgery for mastectomies, brain tumors, and hysterectomies. I presented PowerPoint presentations at a public burn hospital, 150 beds with 300 burn victims lying on the floor and families staying under cots and beds. Lack of adequate pain management, infection control, and education were evident. No PT was given. I presented care of the burn patient, infection control, curability, splinting, range of motion, etc. Treating these patients, I learned that electrical burns are pervasive in these countries due to poor infrastructure and low-hanging live wires crossing over buildings and streets. I brought this issue to the forefront of our visit with our hosts, hopefully making a difference. I continue my work with Partners of Rural Health in several capacities. Anything to make the NGO successful in its mission is my mission. The takeaway I'd like to share is that Sargent has given me skills and desire for lifelong learning while emphasizing compassion and curiosity. I'm so grateful to my parents who worked so hard to pay for my education. They would be proud of me at this point and what I ultimately love to do. When I think of Sargent, I think of excellence, and I feel proud. I'm thankful to my loving husband, Axel, who has supported me. He has kept the home fires burning, and I'm hopeful to travel with Partners of Rural Health to Uganda in January. Fingers crossed. Thank you again.
This year, we have a very special award, an honorary membership. We are more than proud to recognize Deborah Clare, academic counselor at Sargent College. Debbie retired in December 2021 after 40 years at Sargent College. Since 1981, she has been one of the few individuals at Sargent to work with every single student, regardless of program choice. While not a Sargent graduate, Debbie is, as her nominator noted, always in the Sargent spirit. The awards committee is extremely honored to recognize Debbie Clare with this honorary membership.
Hello again. It's been a little while since I saw everyone, but I'm glad to be back. It was so nice to hear from Carrie Blossfeld, who told me that I had received an honorary award from Sargent. And I, first of all, was overwhelmed, but also full of great joy, because it just brought back a flood of wonderful memories. And especially hearing it from Carrie, because I worked so closely with her. And it was a real highlight working with the Alumni Board to connect the students with the alumni. That was actually one of the greatest rewards of my career here at Sargent. And for those of you who may not know, I was here for over 42 years, and I stayed because I found that one of the things that was very important to me was service, and trying to help people make the most of their experience, to build a solid sense of community. And I feel that it was beneficial not only for those I was serving here at Sargent, but myself, because I felt so fulfilled when I would see the students reaching out to the alumni reaching out to the students, the alumni getting in touch with me and letting me know how valuable it was for them to be able to mentor somebody who, actually was, in their shoes just a few years before. So I'm just very, very proud that I had this experience. And being retired now, I realized just how meaningful my career was, and I am very grateful for all of the people who I have met at Sargent. I think, and I've said this so many times before, the reason why I stayed was because of the students and the alumni in this very challenging world. To see people who are going to make such a positive difference in this world, it was very fulfilling to me to be part of that process. So thank you so much for this honor, and I look forward to seeing you at the reunion. Thank you.
The Professional Achievement Award is given to alumni who have translated their Sargent experience into practice, resulting in the advancement of health and rehabilitation sciences. The first of two awards in this category is given to Ernest Gervino, graduate classes of 79 and 82. Dr. Gervino has spent his career at the forefront of knowledge and treatment development for cardiovascular disease. He has been a leader in tracking efficacy of percutaneous angioplasties, developing cardiac rehabilitation programs, and expanding the clinical physiology laboratory at Beth Israel Lahey Health from 1 clinic to 7 with over 6,000 annual visits. He has helped establish credentialing and certification programs for the field of clinical physiology. He is currently the Director of Clinical Physiology in the Department of Cardiology at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, and Associate Professor of Medicine at Harvard Medical School. The awards committee is honored to recognize Dr. Ernest Gervino with the Professional Achievement Award.
like to first take a moment to thank the Sargent College Achievement Award Committee for one, nominating me, and second, awarding me the 2022 Professional Achievement Award. It is truly an honor to be recognized by this committee for my contributions to the field. I look back over my last 45, 50 years in the field, where I started at Sargent College in 1977. I remember vividly knowing that I wanted to go into the area of exercise science, where this field was just beginning. And at the time, I met with the dean of this program at the time, who was Dorothy Cleveland, who met with me and informed me that the program would be closing. And there was a new program that was called Health Science that was going to be chaired by Dr. Skip Knudkin. And she said, however, that program is closed. There is taking only 2 candidates. They have them. We will allow you to enter through Health Dynamics, get your master's degree, and you can decide later what you'd like to do, which is what I did. One of the best opportunities I ever had. After a couple of years, I applied for my Doctor of Science degree in Applied Anatomy and Physiology, where I truly networked with some of the best people in the world at that time. Dr. Skip Knudkin in particular was one of my key mentors. Dr. Bev Bullen, Abraham Alfaro, Dr. Walter Inge, Dr. Bill Day, adjunct Dr. William Evans as well. And there were some adjunct professors that included people such as Dr. Bruce Bistrian, the late Dr. George Blackburn, Dr. Howard Hartley, and Dr. Stephen Finney. All of these people gave me great opportunities, and it all began with my experience at Boston University. At that time, exercise science was truly growing, where people were finally starting to understand the physiology behind activity. Dr. Knudkin and his collaborative personnel were the pioneers in this field, where they literally had a great understanding of the physiologic responses that took place. It allowed me to develop the building blocks of where I am today. The nice thing with this degree program I was in allowed me to do what is now considered a postdoc at MIT with Doctors Blackburn, Bistrian, and Finney, where I completed my dissertation with them and at Boston University, which allowed me to later get a job at the Beth Israel Hospital in Boston, where I've been for the past 40 plus years. During that time, my career has grown. I am the director of the Clinical Physiology Laboratory. I'm an associate professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. I've had the great opportunity to direct the core lab for physiologic testing at the former Harvard Clinical Research Institute, which is now the Bain Research Institute, where we oversee studies done around the world that are looking for FDA approval. And again, this was all based on the building blocks that I had received while being a student at Boston University. I have trained hundreds and hundreds of cardiology fellows to become cardiologists. I have seen many medical students throughout my career and trained them, interns and residents. I've also had the great opportunity of having undergraduate interns, many from Boston universities, where they have gotten appropriate training and understanding exercise science, and particularly how it relates to cardiovascular physiology. It is without a doubt that my educational experience is what allowed me to be where I am today. So I would like to once again thank the committee for one, nominating me, and second, awarding me with this accomplishment that I've achieved. Thank you for your time.
Our second recipient of the Professional Achievement Award is Robert Gumson, class of 1979. His work in advocacy began as a child, advocating to remain integrated into New York City public schools despite experiencing blindness, and agitating for a local resource for those with disabilities, which would eventually become the Mayor's Office for Handicapped Affairs. Robert's career began as a vocational rehabilitation counselor at the Mass Rehab Commission, but by 1992 was a manager of independent living center services at the New York State Education Department. He helped shape statewide advocacy systems in New York and worked tirelessly to find ways for all to find independence. He has developed partnerships with the New York Office of Mental Health, Department of Health, and Office of People with Developmental Disabilities, ensuring underserved groups were recognized and served. He served as a liaison to the New York State Commission for the Blind. Bob retired in 2017 and recently published a memoir. The awards committee is honored to recognize Robert Gumson with the Professional Achievement Award.
My name is Bob Gumson. I graduated from Sargent College in 1979 with a Master's of Science in Rehabilitation Counseling. I want to thank Boston University's Sargent College Alumni Organization for giving me this honor for a Lifelong Professional Achievement Award. Sargent College was certainly the foundation for my career. While I was at Sargent, I interned in the Boston University's Disabled Student Service Office, the Martin Luther King Center, and Boston University's counseling program. Once I graduated, I had a job through, back then it was CETA, with the Mass Association for the Blind that was short-lived in a job training program. And shortly thereafter, I had my first professional career job, which was at the Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission. I was hired as a vocational rehabilitation counselor in their Brookline office. And I worked with a full caseload and eventually emphasized expertise in psychiatric rehabilitation and substance use disorder. Those were my primary areas of expertise. But I did maintain a full caseload of 120 or so individuals. Eventually, while at Mass Rehab, after about 7 or 8 years, colleagues of mine started a new division in the central office on independent living, and they recruited me into that administrative office. And I ran a program that was statewide that assisted people at risk of institutionalization or who were in institutions to help them get out or stay out through a range of options that were implemented at the local level by independent living centers throughout Massachusetts. So there was a statewide position. That eventually led me to my long-term career position with the New York State Education Department. I was hired in 1992 and left Massachusetts to take on the managerial role of the independent living program and services for New York State. In New York State, vocational rehabilitation and independent living is based out of the State Education Department. And for 25 years, I trekked up and down New York State, working with the 41 independent living center not-for-profit organizations that helped individuals through a range of core services to live the best life they could in the community, and primarily to change communities so that people with disabilities could live in them effectively. Eventually, after 25 years, and I retired in 2017, I was inducted into the New York State Disability Rights Hall of Fame, and I'm very proud of that. And since retiring, I wrote my memoir, which I'd love everybody to read. It took place throughout my entire life, and a good section of it covers the years I was at Boston University Sargent College and living in Massachusetts and working my career. My book is called In Blind Sight, From Canarsie, Brooklyn, with Love, Music, and Mischief. And believe me, there's a lot of mischief. I had a majorly adventurous life that I have fully enjoyed living, and I hope you will take time out to obtain my book. It's on Amazon Kindle and available in paperback. So I do hope that you'll read it. It's in some bookshops. These days, aside from writing, which I've always done, I play some guitar, I exercise, I live 5 months of the year outside of the Albany Capital Region, where my primary house is, but I also live on the west coast of Florida. I have 3 children, 3 daughters, and I'm married, and my wife Pat and I met through our professional careers in the field of independent living and disability rights. Pat ran the traumatic brain injury program for New York State's Medicaid office. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for giving me an opportunity to be recognized for the work I did. If you do read my book, the final chapter, Making a Difference, is the full picture of my career from beginning to end, starting with my earliest job as a teenager, ending with my work with the State Education Department. I have enjoyed it thoroughly, and I'm very pleased to have left a bit of a legacy behind with a strong New York State independent living and disability rights community to take on the challenges of the future.
The Black and Gold Award is given to any alumna who has received the Dudley Allen Sargent Service Award, Special Recognition Award, and the Twin S Award, and who demonstrates continued contributions to the college or Alumni Association. The 2022 Black and Gold Award is given to Dolores Duchy Jordan, class of 49, and Wheelock class of 60. Dolores held the position of class secretary for many years, and while she has relinquished the title, she continues to track and keep contact with her classmates. As her nominator noted, she has always been grateful for all Sargent has done for her. She loves our school and continues to support it. The awards committee is honored to recognize Duchy Jordan with the Black and Gold Award.
I'm Dolores Jordan from the Sargent class of 49, but most in my group know me as Duchy Jordan. I was fortunate that I had a great class of 49. We were friendly, we loved Sargent, and Sargent remained as a part of our life forever. And the Sargent spirit ingrained in most of us started at September camp when Peg Clark and Crackers Graham and the dean welcomed us to Sargent and assigned us to the caves where we started to make friends. And because of the spirit at Sargent camp, we participated in activities with song, and the Sargent spirit gave birth to our class. Absolutely outstanding. I worked as a working scholarship at Sargent Fuller Fountain, and my commuter room was always busy with smoking and sociability that I missed because I worked in the admissions office. Many of us taught together, and several of my group, we vacationed together until this year, but death stepped in and took away my vacationing group. But Sargent spirit with my class and me is forever, and I am honored that Sargent is honoring me.
The Dudley Allen Sargent Service Award, given in recognition of dedication to the college, is given this year to Julie Starr, graduate class of 1980 and physical therapy professor at Sargent College for 34 years. In the award submission, Julie's nominator stated that she passes on her values and dedication. She instills the value of a Sargent education, ideals of service and continuous learning, never forgetting her Sargent roots and history. The awards committee and myself, as a former student of Julie's, is honored to recognize Julie Starr with the Dudley Allen Sargent Service Award.
To build on the now famous Hillary Rodham Clinton phrase, "It takes a village," I would offer that it takes a village to educate health and rehabilitation professionals. Our college, Sargent College, does an amazing job at being a supportive village. For 30+ years, I have been a faculty member at Sargent College. Yes, I have been teaching students to be physical therapists, but also, hopefully, instilling in them the notion of community, of supporting one another throughout their education and beyond. In this Sargent College village, I found excellence and opportunity, along with kindness, acceptance, friendship, and cooperation. For 40+ years, I have been a Sargent alum. I have seen the role that alumni play in recommending our program to potential students, educating our students in the classroom and on their clinical experiences, in mentoring our students during their academic practicum, and in encouraging engagement with our professional organizations. At national conferences, a favorite event of mine is the Sargent College Alumni Gathering, where I get to watch Sargent alumni support one another, advise one another, lift one another up, and celebrate one another. We weave the fabric of Sargent College with our shared belief in health and rehabilitation sciences, and we embellish our fabric with our respective differences. We all have a job to do to make this Sargent College village vibrant and welcoming. As this year's recipient of the Dudley Allen Sargent Service Award, I will ask you, what can you do for our village? I am very honored to receive this award. Thank you so very much.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to take a minute and congratulate all of our award recipients. These awards are so well deserved for all of the hard work and accomplishments that you have made during your career. It makes us as Sargent alums proud of everything that you have accomplished and this recognition that you're receiving today for that. I look forward to keeping in touch with you for years to come to hear about all of your future endeavors and achievements that you make in the future. Congratulations again.